OuterOrange.
Hello, and we are back today with yet another profile. We got today a wonderful, awesome person. What is your name?
My name is Maurice.
What did you take to Bushiroad Springfest?
So I took Spike Brothers VPremium. We got top 8.
How are you trying to win it?
So I was trying to use Rising Nova to copy Bull Spike and Deadly Lucifer to attack 5 to 6 times with crits and basically reward my opponent effectively.
Reward your opponent, and you know something that you and I talked about too is that you pretty much go live like instantly on your grade 3 turn.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a faster reward like early on.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like this deck is just better reward from turns 1 to 3. After turn 3, the ward just scales way better. But everything up until that point, I feel like this deck does just better.
What were your rounds like?
So I went undefeated. Played Gurgwit round 1, beat Gurgwit. I played Maelstrom round 2. That was the hardest matchup for sure. That deck is scary. Round 3, I played Chronojet. Round 4, I played Altmile. He was undefeated going to round 4. Yo, that was crazy, man. Yeah, dude, that guy was about it, man. That guy was just like going in, man. He just slamming cards on the table, turned sideways. That guy was scary, man. Round 5, I played against Lukier. The guy at top deck. That was really cool.
Oh.
Yeah, and then round 6 was Gurgwit again.
Okay. What was your top 8?
Top 8, I played against Revenger. I played against Antonio.
Oh, okay.
Crow. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get there.
It's okay. Top 8 is still amazing. It's still a top.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we talked briefly about your rounds. Let's go ahead and talk about the deck profile.
Sure. I'm a starter. Starting sniper. I wish Mecha Trainer was SP, but Bushiroad doesn't love us. Then for Rising Nova, like he's the main guy. You want to ride him because he gets 1 and 2 in conjunction with Lucifer and then both like multi-attack and pass markers, and you just try to kill your opponent. He's really great. He's better than any other option, I feel. Cyclone's okay, but like he gives you so much more utility. The counter charge is really relevant. Ability to soul and draw a card while enabling multi-attacks is relevant. And one counter blast with Lucifer can lead to another attack through Davy. So effectively it's 5 attacks just from this alone instead of the Cyclone's just 1 attack. And then Bull Spike's he enables moving markers. Cards you can use, I feel. Until we get something better, we're stuck to these cards.
You can also draw off of him too, right?
Yeah. If the attack doesn't hit, you shoot a card, draw a card.
Nice.
Best part about this deck is honestly the Grey 2s. So it's 4 Davy. 4 Davy and 3 Rona. If you open up one of them and you have 1 counter blast, you can basically pop off and make a free field. And then all your columns will probably hit 18 to 23. So you can almost, like for certain, deal 1 to 2 damage on your opponent. Ideally 2. So when you get to your grade 3 turn, if they take 1 hit, they're at 4 damage, and they have to block 4 to 5 attacks on your first grade 3 ride. At that point, if they die, cool. If they don't, their hand's going to be so depleted that they won't be able to really counterattack you the following turn. So these 2 are like, you want to open them up. I wish I had room for a 4th, but I wanted to make room for other cards. Fullback, he attacks from the back. He was really great. He gives you soul, attacks from the back, gets power. And that 6 attack really gets you there. There's a lot of times where people can block 5, but that 6 attack just is that one extra swing, just really gets you there. And then the best card, like second best card in the deck, is Breach Spurt. A lot of people view this card as just like, it goes in the soul and you draw a card like a cycle. This is a board wipe if you do use it correctly. Against Gurgwit in round 6, he had 3 grade 2s out. So I swung with a breach and a boost, so it was 28. Forced him to intercept, so he was 27. So you had to put 5k more down, or just eat a damage. So he put 5k down. The attack didn't hit, so I drew a card, and I drew a card after that. So he used 4 cards, 3 from his field, 1 from his hand, and I shot another card from his field. So I effectively, 1 attack netted 5 cards out of my opponent, and that was just gigantic. Like that was just unreal. Like the tempo swings right back to my favor, and I was able to win the game after that turn. So those are the grade 2s. This is 12. And then the best card in the deck is Ambush Dexter. This card does everything you want. It gets you any 2 cards that are grade 2 or grade 3. You can get away with playing like weird ratios, like 2 or 3 of cards, because he can just grab them immediately. He's phenomenal. You want him as much as possible because he's just unreal. Like the card's like actually just unreal. In conjunction with Davy or Rona on your grade 2 turn, he helps to make a free field, and you just really push for damage early on. Davy, the second best grade 1, he moves markers while providing soul, so he effectively saves you a soul for Bull Spike, which is really relevant. He's a decent ride target. He helps with the aggression early game as well. And then just 2 grade 3 searchers. There's not really any other grade 3 or grade 1 that's better, so you just play the grade 2 searcher, and you get there. Only 10 grade 1s, because unfortunately you have to make room for other cards. You have to play the grade 3 heals, because it combos with Ambush Dexter. If your opponent tries to damage deny you on turn 2, you just go to turn 3, you ride your Rising Nova, you call this out, you give yourself a damage, and then Ambush Dexter can take this card, put in the soul, and immediately get you 2 cards. And then you can copy them and go off. 6 draw. This deck doesn't have the privilege of playing 8 draw, or rather 8 crit. You have to see your pieces. You only play 12 Dudleys in the deck, and you enable your multi-attacks through calling Dudleys. So you have to see them, so 6 draw really gets you there. And then 6 crit. I consider playing 8 draw actually, but you need the 15k shield early game when people try to rush you as well, and when you go second. Yeah.
Interesting. And you mentioned with your grade 1 lineup, you don't run other cards. So I'm trying to remember the name. There's that one guy that recycles.
Oh, Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy. You decided that was just not working for the
So
build.
he's cool. He goes to soul, but he only goes to soul in the main phase. And while he does recycle a card, like I felt that these cards were just superior in every facet of the game. Like he helps me to get Rising Nova. He moves markers and supplies soul. And he does everything the deck wants. It's like these 10 cards were the core cards that I wanted. Like I mentioned, like I didn't have room for everything else because like you need to play an ample amount of grade 3s. Like I could maybe cut this to 2, but like you feel so bad when one of them is in the drop, one of them is in the damage, and then if you can't do it.
Yeah.
You have to play maximum Dudleys. You don't want to play the other ones because they're bad.
Yep.
Like Mason's unplayable. Daisy's like whatever. She can only really use her effect through Davy, so like none of them are really good. And then the grade 2 is like I wanted to overload on them because they are just the most unreal cards. Like I said, the grade 2 turn is like the most important turn. Wonder Boy just didn't really make the cut. I mean, I think the card's great. I couldn't really play him.
There's one more question I have for you since that card's a little bit newer, and
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
it's the guy, the one that multi-attacks.
Oh, the Cheetah Man?
Yeah. How much did he come up?
Oh, he was unreal.
How much did this card come up? Since this is kind of like the new card that you have.
Yeah, he's unreal. Of the 6 games I won, I think 4 of the rounds I won were from attacking with him. There was one turn, I think it was against Altmile on turn 2. I had a field of Lucifer with Ambush Dexter. Ambush Dexter called a Breach Spurt and the Cheetah Man. And so I had a 10k here, a 10k here, a 20k here, and a 21k here.
Wow.
And so it was 4 swings. I forced an intercept too because he tried to rush me as well. So that was really neat. So like it was just phenomenal. It hit over defensive triggers. It really applied lots of pressure, and that's what the deck wants. Like if I get you to 2 damage quickly, like when I go to a grade 3, I feel like I have a chance of killing you right there.
That makes sense because they're attacking for 2 crit with every attack,
Yeah.
so you're constantly keeping them at lethal.
Yeah, like you can only block so many times.
Yep.
Like even against Prism, like if you rush Prism really hard and they take 1 hit, like you can take that 12, 13 card hand that Prism has and easily make it 4.
You didn't see Prism, did you?
No, I was actually hoping to play a Prism because I really like that matchup.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. As a Prism player, I definitely think Spikes is actually a really hard match.
Yeah, I mean if I had won top 8, I think I would have played.
USC won at least.
Yeah, well, the guy that won that team, they had a Prism player.
Yeah, you're right.
I think so.
Noman.
Yes,
Noman.
I would have played him. So yeah, I would have loved to have played Prism, but it wasn't in the cards unfortunately.
It's okay. Your card still got you to the top 8.
Yeah, man, it was cool. Maybe your team played well, so.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for coming out.
For sure, no problem. Shout out to my teammates because they played really well. Shout out to myself for building this deck. I actually built this deck like 4 months ago. I gave it to the list to my friend Marcus, a meta nerd. He's on YouTube. He actually made a video about the same list like 3 months ago. He topped an event in like I think Malaysia or Singapore or something like that. And so shout out to him. Thanks for letting me use his profile.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for being here, Maris.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it. We'll wrap it up there. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Peace out. Das Vidania. See you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.